Rudyard Kipling's short story, The Man Who Would Be a King, is about imperialism, in the sense that it involves two Englishmen determined to rule over their own little part of the distant world. Danny Dravot and P.G. Carnahan want to rule over an empire of their own making, and their quest to be kings must necessarily come at the expense of non-English natives in colonized lands. The land is Afghanistan, which the British tried to colonize in an effort that proved too difficult and costly for the British Crown. As such, Kipling's protagonists can be considered imperialists. The indigenous population they discover is sufficiently anglicized to make them a more attractive option that might otherwise to be the case. This is a clear example of how imperialism starts. It's enough to be a little lighter in your skin than your brother to believe that you have the control over him. The next story is called Am I Not a Man and a Brother? It attempts to spread the idea of discrimination and its power dynamics. The whip came down over my sweaty back and my body convoluted, my limbs shaken, my head throbbing as I fell to the hard, rocky ground. Blood and salt water boiled on my open cuts, stinging as the impact spread through my flesh. My vision was blurred and tinged crimson from my own blood. Yet somehow I could still see his face, the scowl remained over me. He was in control, he was my master, and he held my meaningless life in his rugged hand, which was an obvious pleasure in his mind to hold over me. The whip broke over my body, and I doubled over with blinding pain. Bits of rock stuck to my sweaty black skin. Why was I such a target of torture, I thought. Our whole race was being discriminated. My people under the control of someone else's people. Why was there such a prejudice against skin? White skin, black skin. Are we not the same? Do we not live under the same gray sky? But no, I, an African slave, we are supposed to be different, subordinate and inferior to the white race. Tell me, what do they do that is so great? What do they have that makes them so different? My back was ripped open by the hand of a slave master, and I would be flogged with deafness until my entrails were barely inside me, my bones screaming to tear through my calloused, dark skin. He took great revealing as he proceeded to punish me. Was my mistake so great an offense for this torture? Was my wanting to be free a crime? The life I had was so short, yet it was interminable. I was dragged out of the hands of my own mother, brought to a foreign country by the filthy ship full of my own brothers, made to do manual labor under the scorching heat, and changed like poor dogs. Why are we treated so much contempt? What did we do to deserve such a vile treatment? The sun beat down, blistering my gaping gashes. Dirt blew into my body and I surrendered to the overwhelming pain that surrounded me. They came to my country for trading goods. Now we are their goods, sold for mere coins and cattle. Am I not a man and a brother just like you? Do I not feel pain, happiness and pride like the way you do? Why then do you deny my freedom? As my vision blackened and hearing faded away, I prayed a last prayer for my people. I prayed to God to deliver us from evil and to take us to our promised land, to which I knew He had made for us. My eyes closed, and pictures of a happy world danced around my vision. People of different races coming together in mutual relationships, no man greater than his neighbor, no man lesser than his brother. That was when I let go. This story lets us see what even today is a subject that causes commotion and sometimes anger: discrimination. Discrimination for race, the stigmatization of an entire society when prejudice is undertaken with only one. The theme of skin color even today in our times still gives much to talk about, when in reality it is a barrier without meaning, a bias imposed by a baseless prejudice. Although slavery was abolished long time ago, This fact left a disgrace of impotence, indignity, and impunity to those who were vulnerated and the blood shed. This undoubtedly causes resentment and suspicion for the world surrounding the victim, leading him to wonder why he's suffering, not only of himself but also black men in history. The final story is called 1000 Likes. Its central topic is how media influences our lives, our personality, and the way we think.